Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Phil Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and today we're taking a look at, TN versus IPS, or IPS versus TN, on Resident Evil Revelations. I love this game. Anyways, the one on the left is an IPS screen, new 3DS XL. The one on the right is a TN screen, new 3DS XL. If you're purchasing the smaller versions of the new 3DS, really don't have to worry about this too much. They're either all, from what we found, they're pretty even if they're TN screen, they're a new screen over the one that was on the 3DS XL, and therefore they've been calibrated differently and calibrated better. They may still wash out, but they're not as bad. And to be honest, the only time I've heard of people having IPS screens on the smaller new 3DS units is if they bought that 20th or 30th anniversary Pokemon one. The Pokemon one that they had with like the red and blue faceplates. That one, apparently there are many people who have those with a dual IPS screen, and I'm like, that is just amazing. But yeah, the one on the left is an IPS screen, and the one on the right is a TN screen. I've got my brightness at 3 with the auto brightness off and the power save off. And the reason I have it that way is if I were recording this with everything at max brightness, you wouldn't be able to see the screen on the right. It would just be a washed out white mess. So we're going to play a little bit of Resident Evil Revelations. I know I hit the button too soon on those, but we'll sync them up again in a moment. Capcom, Capcom MT Framework. This game is a marvel, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, one reason I don't like the TN screens over the IPS screens is I can see a lot of the edges on the TN screens that I can't see on the IPS screen. In fact, stuff looks sharper on the IPS. You can already tell that there's kind of a big difference. Let's hit start. And in order to delete that. Okay, what we're going to do to demonstrate this is we're going to go into an area with new data and just start it says your names will be transmitted, blah, 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 or Q, okay, they're both Q then. And then we're hitting OK. Would you like to use the Circle Pad Pro? Well, it's built into the new 3DS XL, so of course. And go. Saving data, please do not remove the game card. If one seems a little bit faster, it's because one is digital and one is the card itself. There are small, no, I do not want to activate StreetPass using that data. Okay. What we're going to do, we're starting at the beginning, into the depths. Hit that button, and we're hitting new game, and normal difficulty. I don't play on anything else. Well, I did play through it on casual to unlock that thing. Anywho, you can already tell off the bat from the opening sequence that there is a huge difference between playing this on an IPS screen and playing it on a TN screen. It's really kind of gross when you think about it. I mean, sincerely, it's actually kind of bad. Literally, really bad. And now you kind of know why I don't like TN screens like this. I mean, it was good when we didn't know any better. But going forward from an IPS screen, you kind of can't go back. And if you have to out of necessity, it will irk you every single day. And that's what it does to me. And I'm glad to be back on the, seriously, the IPS stuff is fantastic. If you can get one of these with an IPS screen, demand IPS, okay? Check for it, look for it, seek it out. Exchange if you have to. contact Nintendo and get them to replace the older screen if you have to. That doesn't mean you have to send in a unit, and that can take like 3 to 4 weeks, and a month without the 3DS XL is just kind of like, oof, there's too much good stuff that comes out. But yeah, you can kind of tell right off the bat. Yeah, the one on the left is an IPS screen. The one on the right, TN screen. It's extremely evident in this particular video, and once we get into the into actual gameplay, it'll show up. I'll show you some of the big differences there as well. Okay, there we are. Now, one of the big complaints that people have about the IPS screen actually has to do with this. If you'll note that it's kind of substantially darker, is the best way to put that. And people have complained that, yeah, is that an issue? Well, it's more color accurate. And let's take a closer look at that real quick, right? This thing can be a little bit of a pain to focus on there, but you've got much deeper dark levels. In fact, some people have called those crushed black levels. We're just gonna go up here, and let's go into a place where there's more light. Whoop. Okay, let's move you up into a place where there's more light. I'm gonna have to move you a little bit. There we go. Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, you can see more detail in this one because it's more washed out, whereas details are darker here. That's because there is actually a little bit of slight oversaturation with some of the colors on an IPS screen. Let's look toward this door over here. Okay, now let's move the other one over to that same door. Okay, I'm just holding. Close enough. Well, we're supposed to be outside in the dark at night. You can see slightly more details in, like looking at this area right here. You can see more of you can see like the textures, the rain falling and all that, and it just looks nice and dark. Whereas with this one, it's a little washed out. And you can see like the little yellow stripes in there. Now, this actually has more to do with, well, when you're calibrating a screen, like I do, I've had to do THX certified calibration for screens. There are some elements that are supposed to not be visible. And a lot of those elements aren't visible on the new 3DS XL with an IPS screen because they're not intended to be visible. For the most part, these shadows are supposed to be deep and ominous and not washed out. Like, let's go over here and take a look at this door. Let's see, we got this. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I should not have accidentally cut that off. I want to keep that. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're just going to go in, and we're just going to go in. You can automatically see more details on some of these. What a stench, blah, blah, blah. Let's go take a look at this here dead body. There's one over here. Ah, there it is. No? Yeah, there's that. There it is. We're looking at a dead body now. Let's see, let's walk forward here. Oh, what a stench. Man for a while. Right now we're looking at a horrifyingly grotesque dead body. Now, we've got this on brightness number 3 for a reason, so you can actually see it. But let's go ahead and bring up the brightness a little bit to show you that even though the IPS screen is a little bit darker, once you've got it at higher brightnesses or whatnot, it doesn't really matter that much. It's much more, I guess the best way to put it would be cinematic. But yeah, that's one of the downsides of a TN versus IPS. But if you're okay, dang, that person, yeah, no. Tell me about this. Okay, smells like rotting flesh. It's been dead for a while. Aw, they're just mean now. Yeah. It does look a lot better. I'm sorry, I would rather see much more colors, much more color depth, than have a screen that's washed out. That's the big difference between Resident Evil running on an IPS and Resident Evil Revelations running on a new 3DS XL. Color depth, brightness, and now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until the next video comes out, you are now caught up.